Hey everyone, it's Janet Ink Paper Rubber. I am back again. I did manage to get another box checked in, and I thought I would share it with you before it's time to head home for the evening. A lot of this is some of the brand new Tim Holtz Chapter 2 dies from Sizzix, but we have some other fun things in there as well, and let me start off and show those to you. First of all, we got in some new stencils. This one, these are all from the Crafters Workshop. This one is the Stone Increase, and we actually had this one in previously in the 6x6, but this is the 12x12, and I think this one would be really fun to do some things with. You have much larger openings, and so it gives you more space to do some cool things in these different openings. Doing some jelly printing with this would be absolutely fabulous. Anne Marie got one, so you may, in fact, see some jelly printing with it coming up. This is also a stencil from the Crafters Workshop. This is from their new cookie and cake stencil line, and this is actually made with food-safe plastic, so you could use this to decorate your cake. You see it a lot of times they put a stencil down and do powdered sugar, or maybe on a white cake they do cocoa, and this can be used for that, but I think it makes a great stencil otherwise. And this is more of the smaller size. It is a 5.5 by 5.5 stencil. Here are a couple of 6x6 stencils from the Crafters Workshop. These are just their regular stencils, not the cookie and cake ones. And this one is called Coronet. It is really beautiful. That one I really consider to be more of a mask than a stencil. And finally, this beautiful one, which is called Blueprint. So that one is really cool. Something else new for all of you mixed media fans is a new stamp from Carabelle Studios. This one is a washi tape stamp, and you get two stamps in here, and that is what the two patterns are, and it is washi tape. These are quite large. These are cling mounted stamps, and they are quite large, and you can thank Anne Marie for bringing those to my attention. She says you are welcome. Couple of things restocking on. One, we got in more of the Concord and Ninth little mini spirograph stamp, the mini spirograph turnabout stamps. The turnabout stamps are lots of fun, and this is a little mini one, so that is really fun. Also have continued to get some Colorburst colors back in stock again. Today we got Cerulean Blue and Sap Green and Peony, so some nice fun springy colors. I was really excited to get this one in. These are new stamps and dies from Waffle Flower Crafts, and they are called Rainbow Bridge, and there are two dies. They are the same, except this one, it has the frame and the rainbow, and this one has the silhouette of a dog, and the other one is just the same, but it has the silhouette of a cat on it. And then there is also a stamp set that goes with that, Rainbow Bridge, and this is a great stamp set for a pet sympathy card, although one of the things I really like about it is, other than the two there, one that says At the Rainbow Bridge and Sympathy on the Loss of Your Furry Friend, the rest of these don't necessarily have to be for pets. They don't say anything about pets. This one just says beloved family member, always in our hearts, all the hugs until you meet again. So that is just a really all-around good, I think, sympathy thinking of you set. All right, before we get to the dies, also got in some Tim Holtz stamps. We did get back in the Funny Farm stamp set. This one has been really popular. We have our class coming up tomorrow using that set. We also got in a couple of his newer sets. This one is called Architecture, and sorry about the glare. It has got two really cool stamps on it. This one is the big archway, and this one is almost kind of like a architectural blueprint drawing a little bit. And the other one is Fragments, and this just has pieces or fragments of these cool kind of old-fashioned patterns that will do great things in your backgrounds. All right, let's jump on into the new dies. I don't have all of them. Some of them already are gone because of pre-orders, and I still have a couple still coming. But here are the ones that we have. First of all, there were some new Bigs dies in this release, and these are the thicker steel rule dies. This one is called Trinket Frames, and you get, it has 2 frame dies on this one here. And of course, because this is a Bigs die, it means that you can cut it out of heavier material, out of chipboard or things like that. So I think all kinds of amazing things you could do with that. This one is one of my personal favorites. Again, this is a Bigs die, and this is called Filament. And you can see here it has the die to create kind of the old-fashioned Edison style light bulb, and you get multiple pieces so you can really build it up yourself. The rest of these are Thinlits dies, and they are some really amazing ones. I love this one. This one is called Crochet, and this is really cool dies to create these beautiful crocheted trim edges. And I'm pretty sure that I remember Tim saying in his video that this does not cut the side, and that's what it looks like here, which means that you can continue this, and so you can make a longer piece than just what the die makes. So that is really nice. This one is Intricate Lace. This is a beautiful, beautiful background die. And kind of along in the same category is this one here, which is called Adorned, and you get these 3 beautiful, really detailed, scrolly flourishes. This one is the newest entry into the Geo line. Remember, he had Geo Springtime in the last release, and this is the Geo Insects. And you might say, ooh, gross, but actually I think these are really kind of cool. You have the beetle and the bee, and I think that's a moth and a dragonfly. And here was an example of a card that we did with the Geo Springtime, and you could do exactly the same technique with those. Is we die cut this out of our white panel, and then we did a pretty colorful background. I'm pretty sure that one was with Distress Oxide inks, and then die cut it again out of black and inlaid it in there. And it's a really simple way to get a really pretty colorful background. So if you think about beetles, a lot of times they're really colorful, or the dragonfly wings, so that would be cool to do that same technique with those. And then we also have a new entry into the tiny globes. You might recall that he had the tiny snow globes, and this one is the tiny travel globes, and you do get a die for the little globe, and then you get all these kind of cool travel and place landmarks there, the Statue of Liberty and a taxi. I think that's the Golden Gate Bridge. Of course, a representation of the Disney castle there, because Tim is a big Disney lover. There we have the Eiffel Tower and a double-decker bus and the beach and the desert. And you can also use the dimensional domes that went with the tiny snow globes with this, and I do have some more of those coming. I think they should be here tomorrow. Last thing to show you is actually something that Tim announced last July, but apparently there were production and quality issues with these. It is the latest in his line of Impresslets, which is a combination die cut and embossing folder all in one. So you run it through and it does the die cutting and the embossing all at the same time. This one is called Lattice Trim, and you get the 2 different folders in here. Actually, it's not. I don't think it's 2 folders, but it cuts both of these 2 different designs. And again, you can continue it if you want to make a longer piece. Here are some samples of one who has previously released trim dies, and you can see how beautifully detailed these come out. So really, really gorgeous. All right, I think that's probably going to do it for tonight. I do have another box. I got a new shipment from Tailored Expressions. We restocked on a lot of the things that we were out of, but I have to get ready for class tomorrow, so I'm not sure I'm going to get a chance to come back with a video for you. But if not, I will try and do it as soon as I can tomorrow. And before I go, I forgot I did have some samples for you. So let me show you those really quickly. There is the Spirograph Turnabout sample. When you stamp it and do the turnabout, you get kind of this really pretty flower. and you can easily do it in different colors. There is a sample with the rainbow bridge dies and stamp set from Waffle Flower, and there is another sample with that. All right, that does it for now. I hope you have a good evening, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Goodbye.